All right, my friends, thank you for joining me once again. This is Monday, February 5th, 2023. And this morning, I want to keep things on the light side. I don't think every video has to be fraught with deep meaning, but it could be that you might hear something and it might trigger something within you that encourages you or inspires you. So, in any event, feel free to leave a comment. Um, I would love to read them. I actually like going through them and seeing what people have to say. Some people are funny, and some people think much deeper about things than I do, and I always glean something from the correspondence. So anyway, the very first thing I'm going to talk about, and this comes from a book that shares all sorts of historical trivia and facts, things that you might not hear otherwise. I mean, if you do, it'd just be a chance that you run across it. But speaking of inspiration, um, there are things, products in this world, or roles, or any number of things that have evolved, come about in some of the weirdest ways. They've been inspired by some of the strangest things you could ever think of. The first one is the Coca-Cola bottle. You may or may not know this, but here it says the classic hourglass shape had two inspirations. The first being a 1910s fashion called a hobble skirt, which was thinnest at the midsection and below the knees. Its shape was so restrictive that women hobbled when they walked. The other inspiration, the cacao pod, even though there's no chocolate in Coke, the bottle designers liked the vertical striations on the gourd. Interesting, isn't it? Interesting. A little something in my throat this morning. It's very damp out here. It rained earlier, so my throat was acting up. Anyway, I love Coca-Cola in glass bottles. I think that's the way Coke tastes best. I've never really been a fan of it in the cans. It has, I don't know, something different about a soft drink in a bottle, glass bottle, that is. Okay, the inspiration for Tonto, Johnny Depp's Tonto. Did you ever see that movie? I saw bits and pieces of it. I never watched it all the way through, but I clearly remember what he looked like. Here's what Johnny Depp had to say. Johnny Depp's portrayal of the Lone Ranger's Indian sidekick was inspired by his great-grandmother. She had quite a bit of Indian blood, he said. She wore braids and had tobacco down her bosom. That was the idea, to sculpt me into my great-grandmother. Oh, my. Okay, the Android logo. You guys remember this, right? Or does everybody just have iPhones now? It's funny how there's two different camps on this. There are people who are die-hard iPhone or Android. And it's almost like they're willing to go to war over it. But anyway, here's the inspiration for the Android logo. Created in 2013 by graphic designer Irina Block, the green Android logo used for Google's mobile device was based on the men's and women's restroom door signs. It's in the same style as the faceless stick figures, except it's a robot. So there you go. That whole adds another dimension to the visual, doesn't it? This is the last one I'll share with you off of this one. The Rolling Stones Hot Lips logo. Now, I know a lot of you guys are probably Rolling Stones fans. I'm curious if you're aware of this. In 1969, Stones frontman Mick Jagger paid a design student named John Pache 50 pounds, it would have been $77 in US money, to come up with a logo for the band. Jagger wanted something based on the Hindu goddess Kali, who is often portrayed with red lips, sticking out her tongue. Pache drew up some designs of Kali's mouth, but the lips he used belonged to Jagger himself. Face to face with him, he said, the first thing you're aware of are the size of his lips. Isn't that the truth? There's no mistaking the Rolling Stones logo for Mick Jagger's lips. Isn't that right? So, what have you achieved due to inspiration that you've derived from something? What is something weird and uncanny that has motivated you to do something, to move and act on something? What is it? I'm trying to think of something that might have, that might have moved me. It's weird. I'll hear uh, about patterns of behavior that someone else lives out, and I'll think that sounds like a really neat idea. I think I'll do that too. The one that was recent here for me. I watched a video. I don't know why it got recommended to me, but it's all about things that Japanese people do every day. Okay, I don't think it means every Japanese person does this, but it must be somewhat of a custom over there. They clean their toilet every day. They show this guy doing this, and he's wiping it all down, cleaning it out, and he talks about how much they enjoy a clean toilet and the meaning behind it and all that. Well, if I did, I tell you what, I thought that there's something to that I kind of like. I don't know what that. It's weird. You know what I did? I started cleaning my toilet every day. I've been doing that for about 2 weeks, and is it weird to say I kind of enjoy it? I enjoy the fact that every time I go to it, it's sparkling. It's just sparkling. I don't think anybody else in my family has noticed yet, but I'll get inspired by strange things like that. You see, we don't we don't always inspiration doesn't always have to mean we're going to do something huge or change the world or somebody else's life. It could just be that we just do something different and maybe tweak just a little bit of an improvement, or I don't know, create a logo. I need to create a logo. I was talking to my wife about that. My son's a good artist. I might have my oldest son, do that. What do you think? What's a picture of mine that you think would make a good logo if I had a brand? Because I really don't know. I don't know. I might leave that up to you guys. Okay, so hopefully you are not going to end up in court today. I hope you're not. That's nothing good comes of that. I mean, nobody wants to go to court, not even for jury duty. It just seems like I get called every year. I don't think I'm supposed to, but I do. Okay, here's some court transcripts, actual court transcripts that I think are funny. A prosecutor asked a witness, he said, "How fast was the car coming towards you?" The witness said, "I am not a thermometer, so I can't tell you the speed limit." A lawyer asked a witness, "What did the doctor tell you was the condition of the body when he performed the autopsy?" The witness said, "He described it as dead." A prosecutor asked a witness, he said, Do you see the defendant in court today?" The witness said, "Yes, I do." Prosecutor asked, "How is he dressed?" "He looks pretty sharp." I like this one. I guess it was between an attorney and a witness, but he said the question was asked, "Were you not shot in the fracas?" "No, I was shot midway between the fracas and the navel." I can only imagine the abundance of funny things you could get out of transcripts, court transcripts every single day. The stories that these people, what do they call them? Court transcribers? I don't know what they call them. What do they call those people that take all those notes? I can't remember. They probably have some stories to tell. So here's another one. The question was asked, if all of your responses must be oral, okay? What school did you go to? Oral. I know. It is funny, though. So here's a good one. A lawyer asked a witness, "Can you explain what state-dependent memory refers to?" The witness said, "Yes. If a law student is drinking while studying for the exam, he would do well to bring beer into the examination because he'll be better able to recreate whatever it is he studied if he's in a similar state of intoxication." The lawyer said, "That's a novel thought." The witness said, "You see why I'm no longer teaching at the law school." The last one here. The question was asked, "Were you involved in a romantic relationship with her?" Responder said, "I ain't involved in no romantic relationship with her. I'm married to her." Hmm. Isn't that interesting? All right. Do you have any tattoos? I am not a tattoo guy. I have zero. Now, I have thought about getting a tattoo before, but not because I ever settled on one. I just thought, well, if I was going to have a tattoo, what would it be? But you see, I'm 53 now, so I figure I'll be 54 in a couple months. So I figure, why would I get a tattoo now? I'm not going through a midlife crisis. Maybe this beard is a midlife crisis. I don't know. But I I just have not ever found it absolutely necessary yet or desirable for me to get a tattoo. I'm not against anybody else getting them. I think that they're actually good conversation starters. When I see someone with a tattoo, if you're a shy person, remember this. If you're looking for a way to start a conversation with somebody, see someone with a tattoo, just ask them, I see your tattoo. What does that mean to you? What motivated you or inspired you to get that? People love talking about their tattoos. Now, did you know there are some really famous people that you might not have thought of, and going back in history quite a way, that had tattoos that you would never have suspected. You might like that. If you're a tattoo guy or woman, you may really find this interesting. Did you know Theodore Roosevelt? The man's man. He's a man's man. Did you know he had a tattoo? The rugged president was a pioneer of modern masculinity, including tattoos. As a young man, he had the Roosevelt family crest inked into his chest. Now, this crest is quite intricate. Can you imagine this inked into your chest? Yeah, Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson had a tattoo. Jackson's policies displaced thousands of Native Americans from their homes. Ironically, he had a tomahawk tattooed on his inner thigh. Winston Churchill, though Churchill spent his military career in the army, he had a naval anchor tattooed on his arm. His mother, Lady Randolph Churchill, had a snake tattooed on her wrist. Oh, there you go. I mean, can you imagine that? Women back in that day getting a tattoo? She sounds like a rebel. Barry Goldwater. A lot of you don't remember who he is, but yeah, the U.S. Senator from Arizona and father of modern conservatism, got a crescent moon and 4 dots tattooed on his hands, on his hands. It's a symbol of the Smoky people, an Arizona group dedicated to preserving southwestern Native American history. Tsar Nicholas II. While visiting Japan in 1891, the future Tsar Nicholas II of Russia got a dragon tattoo on his right arm. Interesting. See, you wouldn't know these things because these people back then didn't take pictures without their clothes on like they do so much now. James K. Polk. Tattoos of Chinese characters meaning strength or peace may be cliched now, but the idea was very unusual when President Polk did it. He had a tattoo of a Chinese character that translates to eager. Eager, that's different. George P. Shultz. Shultz had a distinguished career as Secretary of Labor and Secretary of the Treasury under President Nixon, and as Secretary of State under President Reagan. He also has a tattoo of a tiger, the mascot of his alma mater, Princeton University, on his butt. I don't want to know who gets to see that. Harold II. This dates all the way back to the 11th century. The last Anglo-Saxon king of England died during the Battle of Hastings in 1066. His body was so brutalized that the only way his Norman foes could confirm his death was by the tattoo of his wife's name, Edith, on his chest. By the way, another interesting factoid. Did you know that Mountain Dew consists mainly of 3 different ingredients? What do you think they are? I'll tell you. Water, corn syrup, and orange juice. Would you have thought orange juice? It tastes so lemony, I would have thought, well, I don't know what I would have thought, but I wouldn't have figured orange juice. Do you have any tattoos? Are you proud of them? Do you regret them? Do you show them off? Do you talk about them? Did you get them while you were drunk? Or do they mean a lot to you? Are they pictures or are they phrases? I don't know how I feel about either one of those. I always figure, you see these people with things written out on their chest or arm, and it's like really long, or what the ones I do not like is when people put their own name on their body. You don't need to. That seems a little too vain. But here are some phrases. If you're looking for a Latin phrase to put on your body, to tattoo on yourself, consider these and make people wonder. It's not the heat, it's the humidity. I know, it's kind of a long Latin phrase there. But hey, listen, people seem to know no boundaries when it comes to tattoos, so do what you want. What's your sign? Okay, that's shorter. Take my wife, please. You can always tell her it means something different. Always wear underwear. Always wear underwear. Where would you put that? Okay. Beam me up, Scotty. I can imagine there's probably quite a few people out there already that have that tattooed on themselves. Liar, liar, pants on fire. That would be hilarious. Your fly is open. Where would you put that? May the force be with you. It ain't over till it's over. Or it ain't over until it's over. I can see somebody actually getting that. But that's still kind of long. Don't call me, I'll call you. I could see doing that. Taste like chicken. Now just imagine where you'd put that. Go with the flow. Yeah. Well, that one I can see a lot of people doing that. But anyway, do you have something written? If you do, what is it? Are you sure that this is actually what it says? I've heard of people getting Japanese characters put on their body thinking that it means one thing, and then Japanese people laugh at it because they are like, no, it's not what it means at all. Are you sure you got the right thing? Did you get what you paid for? All right. That's enough of that today. If you want to know what I have in my beard, I am wearing Sip Beard Oil from Bay Area Beard Company. Let me see if I can get this in the camera right. All right, let me tell you something about this. I have talked about Bay Area Beard Company before, but I just recently got some more stash from them, so I'll be presenting more of their product here in the near future. But I am wearing their Sip Beard Oil. This is, let me see, the scent profile for this is coffee, Irish whiskey, brown sugar, and Irish cream. In addition to putting the beard oil in, I put in their beard butter. Look at this container. It's bamboo. I keep moving it around. I need to let you guys actually look at it. This is a beautiful container, and it's big. This is 3.5 ounces. Smells so good. So good. I have a code. It's Greg. I think it'll save you 20%, but it'll save you some money regardless of what it saves. You should check them out. I think you'll really like them a lot. All right. Listen, one thing I need to tell you guys, I keep meaning to mention this, is I love using my Brio Raze head shaver. I don't shave my head out here, but I love using this thing mainly because I'm not lazy, but this does save me a lot of time. I'm a busy guy. I have a lot of things to do. And this saves me a lot of time. It's just very convenient. It's been my go-to now for, I got the plastic protective case on here, thing on here. But it's been my go-to now for quite a while. I don't hardly ever use a razor anymore. And I will, but I've just been on I've just been using this a lot lately, and I love it a lot. So Brio makes pretty good beard trimmers, head shavers, electric toothbrushes, nose trimmers, which I will present to you here shortly because I just got a new one. And things like that. So I can save you some money on that likewise. I'll put a link down below. All right, guys, I thank you. I thank you for watching, listening, and subscribing if you haven't done so. All right, enjoy the rest of your day. Hope to see you on the next one. In the meantime, be wise.